All right. Looks like we're live. Cool. It's like the third time I've done one of these Facebook Lives. So we'll see if anyone gets on here. So I'm going to talk, I think I put it in the caption, but I'm going to talk about kind of how to get your coaches set up for some long-term success. That they need that big picture mindset so that they stick around long enough for the success to show up. So while we're kind of waiting a little bit for people to hop on, why don't you guys comment with some characteristics of an ideal coach you'd like to have on your team, or characteristics of a coach that you see that's crushing it, that you love. Throw some characteristics out there for us while we're waiting for everyone to kind of hop on here. I just got off a call. It was really funny. I just got off a call with it was Sarah Molnar's. I don't know if you guys know her, but she's like an elite coach. It was her team call, and she asked if I would speak on her team call, and she asked if we could get the whole family on the call, which was really cool. It was the first time we had ever done that. So it was me and my sisters, both of my sisters, Andrea Wallace and Amy Reelman, and both my parents were on there. They thought it was really cool. They thought it was amazing that I'm making a six-figure income, and my sister Amy's making six figures, and so is Andrea, and my parents kind of building their business together, making six figures. So they were just kind of blown away, and we just had a lot of funny things that happened along the way that no one really gets to hear. So we got to share a lot of those things and joke about it. I don't know, I'll try to get the recording. I think it was pretty funny. But I had a blast. I'm surprised it's the first time we ever did a call together. All right, so I'm going to read these. Persistent, real, shares struggles, consistent. It's a good one. All right, cool. Nice. Okay, so jumping into this thing, first thing I'll tell you is I believe that coaches do a very, very good job of overcomplicating the business. They really do. It's such a simple business. It's not rocket science, but we do a great job of making it seem like it is. So anytime someone comes to me and they say, it's usually guys will come to me and they say, Pat, cut the fluff. I want to know the drill. What's the drill? I don't want to hear your story. I don't want to hear your pitch. What's the secret to this business? And I always look at them and I say it comes down to one word. I can give you the answer in one word. If you want to call it the secret, it's not the secret, but there's one word, and I say it every time. So if you're someone that wants to create a six-figure income business, or if you're someone that wants to build a business, a team that's going to impact so many more lives than you ever could on your own, it's going to come down to one thing: leaders. And Keith talks about this all the time. His thing is find 5 good leaders. I think it's 2 or 3. If you can find 2 or 3 good leaders that are all in, that believe in this as much as you, that believe in the products as much as you, that have the passion for this business as much as you, that want to have an impact on people's lives as much as you, if you can find 2 or 3 people that can just roll with you, and they're like your homies, and they're going to build their own teams, they're going to build their own tribes, and they don't really need you anymore, that's what's going to create that kind of business that's going to impact so many lives and create that kind of financial impact. 2 or 3. And I have friends of mine that are making 10 grand a week with Beachbody or more, and they have 2 or 3 really rock star leaders that are doing that. And of course, what no one talks about is they talked to thousands of people that said no, and they had tons of coaches sign up, and they had tons of coaches quit on them, but they have those 2 or 3 rock stars that are kicking butt, killing it, and that's where all their income comes from. So here's the catch, though. That's the secret. But the catch is, those 2 or 3 leaders that you want on your team, they're pretty smart people. I was just reading some of these things you guys are saying in here about the characteristics you want from the coaches you want on your team, and smart is one of them. So skeptical is that's another one. I saw that. So here's the drill. These people are going to sit back. The leaders you want on your team are going to sit back, and they're going to ask themselves 2 questions. Is this thing real? And is this person serious about this? Is this business real, and is this person serious about this? And the only way you can prove that to them is by showing up consistently for a long period of time. the only way. But what do most coaches do? Most coaches, they get excited after an event, or maybe they're new, and they get rocking and rolling, and they're inviting, and they're following up, following up, right? But the no's start kicking in. And what they don't realize is that a no is a good thing. A no is a good thing. A no means you planted a seed, and now people are going to watch you a lot longer, a lot closer. So plant as many seeds as you can and let them watch you. So what most coaches do, though, is they plant those seeds. They're excited. They're inviting. They're following up, following up. But they don't realize that people need to watch. If you ask any of these leaders on this call, or any of the leaders in Beachbody, you ask them, like, how long is it between when someone is interested in buying a challenge pack and when they actually buy it? 6 months, I bet they'd all say about 6 months, right? So most coaches, they're not willing to do that. They're not willing to show up for those 6 months. They're just not. So what happens is they do it for 3 months, and they're excited, and people start to take notice, and they're getting their nose, and people are watching, and maybe not commenting on anything or liking anything, but they're watching, and then that coach gets discouraged because it's not going as fast as they want, and then they quit. And this is what I did to myself over and over and over again. I don't know how many of you guys know my story, but the first 4 years of this business, I had very, very little success. The last 4, big success. And that was the one thing I switched, was the consistency piece. So any of you guys visual learners on the call? I'm a big visual learner. So I'm going to give you an example of how this kind of relates to what I'm talking about here. Some visual? All right, cool. So, has anyone ever tried to, any troublemakers have you tried to, run up an escalator? Look at all these hearts coming in. A lot of troublemakers. So, troublemakers, wow, I knew they had just, fireworks going off. This is cool. Okay, I'm in the right place, because I'm one of them. So, when I would go to the mall, and I'd be with my grandma or something, she would go up the escalator that was bringing you up, and I would try to run up the escalator that was going down. Any of you guys ever done that before? This is funny. So many troublemakers in this group. I love it. Probably all YOLO personalities. Okay, so it's very similar to this business. So when I would run up this escalator, I'd be going full speed. I'm excited. I'm running like crazy. And then, you know what? I'm kind of getting a little tired. And I'm not moving as fast as I want up the escalator because I'm going uphill against the traffic. And it feels like I've been running forever, but I'm looking back and I'm looking up and I'm like, I haven't really made a ton of progress. And that's what happens in the beginning of this business because, like we said, people need to watch you for a while. That's just how it works. So what happens when you're on an escalator that's going down and you're running and you get a little discouraged or life gets in the way and you take a break? What happens? You can tell me. Yep. You go backwards. You go all the way back down. And that is what I did to myself in this business over and over and over. I'd get all excited after an event or a call or whatever it was, and I'd get on the escalator and I'd start running full speed. I'm inviting, I'm following up, I'm posting on social media, I'm going. And all of a sudden I'm like, man, these yeses aren't coming as fast as I want. I'm getting a little discouraged. I start to slow back on my activity, and before I know it, I'm not doing anything. And so I start to lose all my credibility. All those people that were watching me, because I planted all those seeds, you know what they're doing? When you take those breaks, they go, ha, good. Good thing I didn't join their challenge group. Good thing I didn't join them as a coach. Look at them. They didn't stay consistent. You lost all that credibility that you had built up. And that's what I did to myself over and over. And you know what's even worse? You know what I did that's even worse than that? I had coaches that had joined my team, and they were running on this escalator, running up an escalator that's going down. They were on this slow-paced journey, that consistency journey with me. And when I would take breaks, guess what they did? They'd look at me going back down the escalator, and they'd be like, where's this dude going? Like, why am I on this escalator if he's still rocking this, if he's not? And so not only did I lose all the credibility with my prospects and future customers, but I lost all the credibility with my team that I had. And that's almost worse, right? Terrible. So finally, I said to myself, after 4 years of watching all these coaches start after me, get on the escalator, plant seeds, connect, invite, follow up, connect, invite, follow up, over and over and over, and never lose that speed. And you know what? They did it when they didn't feel like it. And they made time when they didn't have time, and they showed up no matter what, every day. And they slowly started turning these no's into yeses, and they slowly started getting some coaches, and those coaches started having success, and their business started to grow. It wasn't fast, but it grew. And I was going up and down the escalator, and they got on, and they stayed consistent, and after a year, they had a couple good leaders, and their business was on flat ground, running full speed, and it exploded. Meanwhile, I'm going up and down this escalator complaining. You know what? I was happy for them, but it kind of pissed me off because I knew what they were doing they weren't doing anything different than me. They were just doing it every day, and I was doing it when I felt like it. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to do this, and this time I'm doing it for me. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to read personal development, and I'm going to work out because that's the kind of lifestyle I want. I want to be a mental and physical badass, and I know a lot of you guys on here do too. There's two different types of people, and you can tell the difference between them. One, they're doing the workouts, they're trying to eat right, they're doing personal development, but they're kind of doing it half-assed, and they're only doing it because it's what someone told them to do as part of the business, and people can smell that crap from a mile away. And then there's people that they're working out, they're eating right, they're reading personal development, and they're not perfect with it, but they're doing those things because that's the kind of person, they're a growth mindset person. They want to grow. They want to be strong physically and mentally. So they're doing those things, and they're putting that on social media to keep themselves accountable. And they're saying, I'm never going anywhere. If you want to be a part of this and join me on this journey, awesome. If you don't, awesome. But I'm not desperate for anybody. I'm not desperate for anybody. And they stay on that lifestyle journey, and people start to take notice. And after 3 months, some people get on board. After 6 months, some people get on board, and some people have to watch for a year, and they start getting on board. Like my sister Amy, who's a 2-time elite coach, making 6 figures and killing it. She had to watch me on that escalator for over a year before she got on board. So there's going to be people like that in your life that are sitting there waiting, going, this guy is just going up and down this escalator, taking breaks. Like, is this real? Are they serious about it? How can I join them in this thing? So, question I'm always is like, why do some coaches stay on the escalator and some don't? Like, why do some stay on the escalator for the full year, plant those seeds, build a team, and have all the success, and others, they kind of dabble and they live on this escalator? Any of you guys know what I'm talking about? Living on an escalator, like you get excited, you're inviting, you're planting seeds, people are kind of starting to take notice, but maybe you start to slack on your follow-ups a little bit, you lose a little bit of that excitement from the event, and you're like, you slack a little bit, you go backwards, and you know what? You don't think people are noticing, but they do. They do. They notice you're not showing up as often. Your coaches know it, and the people that are following you on social media, they know it as well. So, 2 things. There's 2 things that I see people do that get them to show up on the escalator every day. The first is their why. And you guys hear this shit all the time. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to swear. But this is kind of how I do the why. I like to have my coaches create like what's called a why list. So a list of everything they want that they can't currently have. They can't afford it for whatever reason. And I tell them, I say, did you start this business to help people? Like, ask yourself that. Did you guys start this business to help people? I hope the answer to that is partly yes. I hope the answer to that is yes, I genuinely want to help other people. That's like from my heart, that's who I am, that's what I get the most out of life doing. But, little newsflash, you don't have to own a business to help people. So why did you start a business? I want my coaches to understand that it's okay and that they need to find part of their why that's personal to them and their future and their family and their family's future. Because those are the things that are going to get you to show up when you don't feel like it. And those are the things that are going to get you to make time when you don't have time. So yes, like part of your why is the impact you want to have on other people's lives, and part of your why are some of those things that are personal to you and your family. Because those things are huge. Those things are what get you to show up on tough days. Right? So, and even some little things too. Like getting your Shakeology paid for, add that to the list. You know, I had a coach say that she wanted to be able to afford the Charmin Extra Soft toilet paper. You know, like, I was like, add that to the list. Perfect. Like, that's going to motivate you to get those easy wins. You know, and it could be something big like financial freedom. It could be something small like paying for a cell phone bill or paying for part of the rent. But start to create this list and leave some blank space in it so that you can add stuff to it. I mean, either at the bottom or in the middle, at the top, because you guys, let's get out of the mindset of, let's make an agreement. We're going to get out of the mindset of looking at what other people are doing and saying, oh man, like that's so cool what they're doing. I would love to be able to do what they're doing. Man, stop saying that stuff and just say, I can't do that yet, but eventually I will. I'm adding it to my why list, and that's going to be my why fuel. That's what's going to get me to show up on those days and stay on that escalator long enough for this thing to show up and crush it. Right? So that's your why list. If you do vision boards, that's just as good. But here's the thing with vision boards and why lists. Most people, most coaches, they think about their why or their why list or their vision when someone asks them what it is. So rarely, you know. And then when someone does ask them what it is, they say something that sounds kind of cool, but they don't really believe it, and they never think about it, and it's just kind of, it sounds cool. It's great. That's not going to get it done. Your why has to be something that you're looking at every day. Every day. It's fueling you every day. The days you don't feel like doing it, you got to look at that list and be like, all right, I got two choices in life. And this is a crossroad I came to. I can either add one more thing to my busy plate. You guys all got busy lives, right? So you got to add one more thing to your busy plate, make your life a busy life already busier, right? Or let another year go by and be in the exact same place that you are today. Those are your two choices. Be in the exact same place you are today by not adding one more thing to your plate and you have nothing on that why list, or add one more thing to your really busy plate, make your life even busier, and start to knock those things off that why list, right? So that's where I'm starting. I'm digging in on that why list, and we're adding things to it all the time, and we're looking at it all the time, I know what their why list is, but I'm texting them, asking what their why list, just so they're texting it and seeing it and visioning it, okay? Whether it's a vision board or a why list, it's got to be something that you're looking at all the time and adding to. The second part of the two things that I think really are what get people to stay on the escalator versus the ones that don't stay on the escalator long enough to start to have the success is belief. Belief. And I think Keith talked about this. I've heard Keith talk about belief. He has his like kind of 4 stages of belief. You could have the greatest why in the world, the strongest, most powerful vision board, and the strongest, most powerful why list. But if you don't believe that the things we're telling you to do every day, those vital behaviors, are going to get you to that why, you're not going to do those things. So you got to have the belief too. And so here's how I try to help my coaches with belief. We talked about it at the beginning of the call. The secret to this business, if you want to call it a secret, it's not really a secret. But the thing that's going to help you impact the most amount of lives, the thing that's going to help you cross off everything on that why list and then some, the thing that's going to help you create and mold whatever perfect life is for you is leaders. Finding those 2 or 3 leaders that want to do this with you. And so where are you going to find those 2 or 3 leaders from? Anybody know? Let's see how smart you guys are. I probably wouldn't know the answer to this. Kathy Benson, you must know. You know me better than myself. Nothing yet? It must be a delay. I'll give you the answer. You're going to find those leaders from challenge groups. Oh, Kathy, you nailed it. Great job. So they're going to be from, and Delaney killed it. So they're going to be from challenge groups because they're going to be people that believe in the products. They're going to believe in what we do as coaches, how powerful that accountability is. And they're going to believe in what we do as coaches. They're going to believe in the business as well. They're going to believe in Beachbody and Carl. Man, like Carl is one of the most influential, he's, to me, a mentor. Like I'm watching his Facebook Lives all the time. Like that guy, the first time I heard him speak, I was like, where he's going, I'm going. If you don't listen to his stuff on Instagram or Facebook, like get on that stuff. That is how you stay so focused on your business, on your whys, by following him. So, what else are we right here? Cool. Yep, you guys are all getting it. Challenge groups. So, it's going to be people coming out of the challenge groups because they love the products, They love the accountability of having a coach. They believe in the business. They believe in Carl. And you know what? They believe in you because they saw you in there kicking butt with them. And eventually, we need to help them start to believe in themselves. That's the last part. So, how do we create that belief? I reverse engineer it. So we know the secret to the business is developing those 2 or 3 really good leaders, and then those people are going to be coming from the challenge groups because they're going to have that belief in everything, that foundation. And not all of those people are going to become great coaches. But if you're giving enough packed customers a great experience, it's inevitable that some of them are going to want to become coaches and make great coaches. Some of them are going to become coaches and quit, and that's part of it. But if you continue to do that, it's inevitable that you're going to find people that fell in love with the business, fell in love with the products, fell in love with what we do as coaches so much that they're going to turn around and want to do that for others, and they're going to start to build a team of their own. It's just, why would that not happen? It's gonna. The only way you mess that up is if you stop trying, if you stop inviting, if you stop growing and doing your personal development. It's the only way. If you keep going up and down the escalator, that's the only way you mess this up. If you keep inviting, showing up, doing your thing, and stay on that escalator, it's inevitable that you're going to find 2 or 3 people that are just like you that want to do this and love this as much as you and build a successful team. And you guys get to do this together, and that's when it's so fun. So where are the people in your challenge groups coming from? They're coming from the vital behaviors. Sexy stuff, right? The sexy stuff. People aren't going to join your challenge groups, just like they're not going to join you in coaching unless they trust you. And how do you gain the trust? #escalator mindset. #escalator mindset. They have to see you on your own journey on social media. You have to be reaching out to them and getting those no's, because a no, again, is a good thing. It plants that seed. Now they're going to watch you even closer. No's I love no's. Like, now I know, like, this person's going to be all over me watching my story, so I'm going to show up even more now because I know I got one more person with their eyes on my back, right? So, the escalator mindset with the vitals. Not just inviting and not just posting on social media. You got to do both, because the first time you reach out to someone, if you're only posting on social media and you're not reaching out to new people, people aren't going to show up to you. Once in a blue moon, maybe. But if you're only messaging, what the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go to your profile to see who you are, what you're all about. So that's not going to work either if you don't have any posts. So you got to have posts with good content, and I'll talk more about that this week. But you also have to do the inviting side of things, and I'll talk more about that this week. And as you continue to, you listen to these coaches and these leaders in this group, the more I hang out with these people and get to chat with them, the more I respect them, but the more I realize, how hard they work. Amy Silverman with her #reality check, or Haley with the don't be a bitch, hit send. They work their butt off. They're connecting with way more people than anyone else. Sit down and dirty. They're connecting with way more people than anyone else. They're inviting way more people than anyone else, and they're following up with way more people over a longer period of time. And that's why they're getting yeses into their challenge groups, because they're just dialing in those vital behaviors over a long period of time. Their people are getting into their challenge groups. They're giving their people a great experience in their challenge groups, and those people are more likely to want to become a coach because of that. And when they become a coach, they're going to make a better coach because they're going to give the same experience to their challenges that you gave to them. It's that simple. So once you're able to couple those two things, once you find a coach that has that escalator, #escalator mindset, that's like, I'm getting on this thing, I'm not going to get off. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of being on this escalator up and down, up and down. And you guys I'm sure you guys have felt that. I was on that for 4 years. It's no fun. But once you get your coaches and you get yourself to understand the escalator mindset, and you get them to understand that why list, and you find something that's going to fuel them to stay on that escalator for a full year, sounds fun, right? Running up an escalator that's going down for a year. But if you find why big enough, then they will. But they also have to have the belief that the things you're telling them to do every day on that escalator is what's going to get them everything on that why list. So if you get someone that has that strong why with that unshakable belief, then the consistency piece of being on the escalator for that full year and showing people that you're serious and this is real, if you have these two things, You don't even have to worry about being consistent. You just will be. You don't have to worry about your coaches trying to make them be consistent. They just will be. So if you have coaches that are inconsistent, I guarantee they're struggling with one of those two things. They either don't have a strong enough why, it's not closely connected to, they're not looking at it every day, it's not as important to them, or they don't have the belief that the things they're doing every day are going to get them there. And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they have that belief? You got to instill that in them and let them know the only way they mess this business up is if they stop trying, if they stop connecting, if they stop inviting, if they stop following up. They don't have a boss that's going to fire them. They're the boss. That's the coolest thing about this thing. So that's where I start with my coaches. I've got to make sure they have that mindset, the escalator mindset. They know it's a long-term thing. They got to have that why. They got to have the belief. When I do a one-on-one call, last thing I'll tell you is, if I do a one-on-one call with a coach, whether it's my coach or a non-personally sponsored, I'm huge on talking to non-personally sponsored, way down in the. Look at all that. Thanks for the love, guys. When I talk way down deep in the organization, I don't care who I'm talking to. I'll ask them a couple questions. One, what's your why? What's your why? Let's talk about it because they probably haven't talked about it in a while, unfortunately. The second is, do you believe it's inevitable that you're going to find, if you stay consistent, do you believe it's inevitable that you're going to find and develop 2 or 3 leaders that are going to be your tribe, that are going to run with this thing, that are going to get to the point where they don't really need you anymore, and they're going to build this business on their own tribes, and you get to help them kind of with that. And that's the best part of this business. It's so cool. So cool. But the question is, do you really believe that on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you in that belief? And this is not a judge-free zone. You guys can even comment on this if you want and say, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10, how you guys feel about where you're at in your belief that it's inevitable that if you just stay consistent with those vitals, it's inevitable that you're going to find those 1 or 2 leaders that rock this thing with you that you can run with. And then if it's a low number, that's fine. That's totally fine. I want it to, usually it is. But then the third question is, what's the biggest struggle? What's the biggest obstacle that's keeping you from moving up to an 8 or a 9 or a 10? And then, I work through that with them. What's funny is like once they tell me what it is, it immediately loses a little bit of its energy as soon as I verbalize it. And then I can walk them through it. And if you guys comment here with maybe your biggest struggle, it's like, I don't know, I don't feel like I'm a 10 when it comes to like I hope it works out versus like, it's a done deal. Like, I'm showing up. This is my lifestyle. I'm never going to go anywhere. I'm not desperate for people. I'm showing up and doing my workouts and sharing my journey on social media. I'm inviting. I'm connecting. I'm going to be following up. That's who I am. I'm never going to stop. I'm not going to let myself go back down the escalator. That's a 10. Like, that person knows in their heart that they're going to find good people that are just like them that are going to rock this thing and kill it. That's eventually where I got to. But if you're over here kind of hoping, I'm going to give it a try, I hope this thing works, we got to make that shift from there to here. And the best way to do that is to be honest about why you're here, and it's not a belief yet. And then the other great way to do it is surround yourself with people that are over here because they're contagious, and it's a lot more fun over here too. So that's all I got for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions about the escalator mindset, about that big picture, the leaders, about the why and the belief, and then maybe like what's that biggest thing that's holding you back? That's holding you back from believing that's going to happen, it's inevitable, and everything on that why list is going to come true. Because once you get to that point, you're unstoppable. But let's, be honest with ourselves and share why we feel like we're not 100% confident that it's inevitable that we stay consistent long enough. We're going to find those good people that want to run with us and find those good leaders, whether they're personally sponsored or not. That doesn't matter. That's even cooler. You might have to dig for your diamonds. Maybe that leader is going to be someone, your coach brings someone in, your coach really isn't into it, but they bring someone in that really wants to do it. That's where your time goes. You work with that person. And then that person brings someone in that's like even more into it. That's where your time goes. You work with that person. All right. So hit me with any questions on any of that stuff, and I'll do my best to answer that stuff in the morning. But that's all I got. All right. Thanks, guys.